All right, last section for this lesson. The last thing we're going to do with titles is create what are called credits. And credits in movies can be seen either at the beginning of a movie or the end of a movie or both. Most movies obviously have two sets of credits. You've got the beginning credits, which people tend to get a little creative with, putting the credits in the video in certain different places. You're seeing a lot of changes going on in terms of that aspect of that part of the movie with the credits. There's been some very creative ways of doing credits in the last 5 years or so at the beginning of the movie. The end of the movie, not so much. Pretty much people just kind of splash the credits as a rolling clip. And what we're going to create is more along the lines of the closing credits, animating your title so that your credits will either do one of two things. They'll either roll from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom of the screen, or they're actually going to crawl. So I know there's a question on the question set which talks about those. So let's jump to that right there. You said you got number 8. What's the difference between rolling and crawling credits? Well, rolling credits go from either top to bottom, and crawling credits move from left to right. Pretty simple. Roll and go either from top to bottom or bottom to top. Most generally, most ending credits go from bottom to top, and then crawling goes left to right. So let's see how we create those types of credits. Differently, we've gone to File, New Title all the time to create a new title, but in this particular case, we're going to use, if you look up here, there's also a title menu. I'm going to go to Title there. I go down to New Title, and here you go with your default roll, default crawl. Default still is actually what we were doing before. Whenever you go to File, New Title, it gives you a default still. It just doesn't ask you the question. So let's grab default roll, and we're going to call it End Credits. Click OK. You're still going to get your titler window up. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually click on the text tool. And let's see, we want to be on, it doesn't give us any style. So let's go with the big fan of that, Birch White 80. So let's click on Birch White 80. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to type in some stuff. You're going to say director, hit the colon, hit the enter key, comes down a line. You could actually put in a director's name if you want. So let's type in producer. Actually, let's put another space. So we go director space, producer space, actor. So obviously this is where you would put their names. Hit the enter key twice. Editor. And I'm going to actually purposely make this bigger than the window, and you'll see where this all comes together in a minute. So I go composer, because it's got to have music. Let's see, editor. Did I put producer, director, producer, actor, editor, composer, set design? Let's do that. Set design, and we'll do one more. Got to have a gaffer. Never knew what a gaffer was, but all movies have gaffers. Or key grips. There's another one for you. So we got a bunch of text there. I click on the selection, and I'm going to drag that down and put it right there, let's say. But notice, keep in mind, I've got a lot more text than what shows up on the title. So that's fine. So I've got that all set up, and I've already created this rolling credits piece. So now I've got to be able to change some things about the way it rolls. And if you look up here in the top menu bar, you've got this roll crawl options. Go ahead and click on that. And you've got, which is kind of funny because I started out saying I wanted a new rolling credit title. Doesn't really matter because I've got some crawl things I can change right here too. So really, it doesn't really matter what type that you start with because you have access to either roll or crawl it at any point. If you notice the timing over here, it says start off screen and end off screen, which is pretty cool. I'm going to click both of those, so it's basically going to roll right off. The minute I do that, I've got my pre-roll, ease in, ease out, and pre-roll and post-roll. Yeah, I know there's a question on the question set. These allow you to change how long it takes before the credits actually start. So if I've got start off screen checked on, notice my pre-roll is gone. I check it off. Here comes pre-roll. End off screen obviously affects post-roll. So if I keep both of those off and I put in pre-roll, and these are in frames by the way, so I put in pre-roll of 10, so it's going to wait 10 frames before it starts rolling. And then I could do the same for post-roll. It's going to go black. It's going to, once it's done rolling, it's going to be black for 10 frames before the movie ends. So let's go answer that right now. Number 9. What does pre-roll and post-roll, what does pre-roll setting accomplish? Pre-roll allows the user to delay the rolling piece of the credits. And more importantly, it is measured in frames. So there you go. So let's set it up this way. Actually, keep start off screen and end off screen off. Let's do pre-roll and post-roll both at 10. And we're done there. I close down the title and I drag the end credits. Give it a little leeway at the beginning, and you hit the play and watch what happens. There's your roll. And it goes black. 10 seconds. There we go. So let me change something though. I'm going to double click on this, go back into the title, and I'm going to go back to my options, and I'm going to say start off screen and end off screen. Let's see what that does. Click OK. Close down the title. Hit it back to the beginning. And it gives you more of a roll. It goes all the way off the screen. And you can expand the time on this title, so on and so forth. So you get the idea in terms of editing the title once it's laid in there. Not going to show you crawl. Just understand crawl goes from left to right. So you can mess around with that if you'd like. The last piece I do want to show you, let's say you want to create a new title. And as Adobe does with most programs, they give you a bunch of templating ideas. And to be honest with you, creating your own title is kind of fun. But once you see what I'm about to show you, you'll understand that it's probably a little bit simpler to go use something that they have. Last question on the question set, where can you get a pre-designed title? If you go to File and you go into New Title. Oh, wait a minute, I might be pushing you off here. Hang on one second. Oh, sorry. So we're going to look into a template, and we're going to go. All right. How about this? Let's try that instead. Go to the title menu. Sorry about that. Go to New Title, and we're going to say Based on Template. And there you go. You've got all of these different types of titles. There's a title there. There's a super. You've got different places. Here's a good example of a super where you probably want to use this in an interview process where the name goes here and what kind of title that person has. But you've got all these titles to choose from. Here's an entertainment. You can take art palette. Okay. So there's all different kinds of titles you can choose from. Here's a side sub. This actually almost looks like a DVD menu. So on and so forth. So 10th question on your question set, where to get these things. I'm going to cancel out of here, pull up the question set. Where can you get pre-designed title templates? Title menu. New title from template. And there's way too many titles in there to pick from. So you should be able to, no matter what it is you're trying to do, you should be able to find a title right in there. So there you go. Your question set 6 is done, and we are done with titles.